Boom's gonna ramble about stupid shit you probably don't care about cause it mostly pertains to him. When it comes to my PvP games, Black Ops 4 is annoying. Rainbow Six Siege, I'm absolutely burnt on. I'll let you guys know how I like the new season when it comes out, but I'm just not in the mood to play Siege, and when I'm not in the mood to play Siege, I don't have fun, and when I'm not having fun, I don't do well. I have less fun, and then it's not even a vicious cycle, it's a multiplication of my problem. Battlefield 5 is fun, but only with a full squad or at least 2 other people. I'm not in the mood for arena games like Doom or Halo or anything like that, and I recently got into the Metal Gear games, so third-person tactical stealth action games are fun for me right now. My PvP games aren't really doing it for me, and a big thing, I was excited to play a PvE game, but wouldn't you know it, Anthem and Division 2 just aren't my thing. Division 2 isn't bad in my opinion, but it's just more of Division 1, and I didn't really like Division 1 that much the more time I put into it, and that's why you guys didn't see any more of it on the channel. I just kind of stopped having fun with it, and I just don't really want to play Division 2, because, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy Division 1, and nothing in the Division 2 beta wowed me, so moving on. Anthem's demo was a broken pile of shit, and it was boring, repetitive, and just completely derivative of all other games of that genre. I'm not gonna hate on anyone for liking it, but it's just so not my thing, and every review I see about it pretty much is negative, and the positive ones are just saying, it could get better, it's not that bad, and it's just not something I want to buy into. It seems to be making all of the mistakes that Destiny 1 made. A detached story, repetitive gameplay, and just a really tall grinding wall. And apparently it's also bricking PS4s and potentially Xbox Ones could be at risk, so just not my thing. And this is where Wildlands finds its niche in my playtime. Not discussing its PvP, its PvE is a PvE mode, so okay, that crosses that off the list. I have a PvE game here. It's third-person stealth tactical, that's fun, lots of good buzzwords there. And I'm burnt on all my PvP games, and it's not a PvP game, and I don't really want to play its PvP because I don't really like its PvP anymore. But I really like its PvE. I am having so much fun. It's ridiculous. I don't deserve to have this much fun in a game that I hated so much when it first came out and shared with us the atrocity that was the Narco Road DLC. Wildlands has lots of problems. A big one is one that I dealt with today. I spent $25 on micro DLC because I had some extra money laying around in my fun budget, and I wanted more stuff because I'm really enjoying Wildlands, and there's no duplicates in the crates, and, you know, other than the crates that I bought, I knew I was going to get a pack that came with 2 guns and some cosmetics, and the crates gave me a bunch of arm tattoos and ugly camos and parachutes, and unfortunately I didn't record me opening it because I was pretty disappointed when I did, but I just was, you know, it was on the fly thing. It was definitely an impulse buy, you know, boo me, I ruined the gaming industry, whatever. And then the guns that I bought, the ones that I directly purchased in a pack that weren't random, were kind of garbage. The MK16, which is the Scar L basically, wasn't very fun to use. It's just kind of a jittery, bouncy, worse M4. And I love the M4, you're probably seeing in the gameplay here, I love this fucking thing. And it's the Scar thing, the Mark 16 just doesn't do it for me. And it also came with the M110 sniper rifle, I believe I'm saying that right, the M11-0, whatever you want to call it. The M110 sniper rifle, it's bad. The bullet drop is horrendous, the rate of fire is inconsistent, and other than some of the cosmetics I got being kind of cool looking, I kind of feel like I just like threw $25 into a garbage can, and I won't be doing that anytime soon. Had to try it once, and I'm not trying it again. And this is a problem because I feel like it should be easier to earn a lot of the weapons they're adding. I think they should put them around the open world or give you certain missions to do them, instead of making them either direct purchases or random finds in crates and supply drops. I think that's just kind of a dumb system, and putting a lot of your post-launch content behind really expensive micro DLC and RNG micro DLC is just not a good idea, and it definitely burned me today. No duplicates is nice, but it doesn't really make up for the fact that I didn't get anything that I wanted, and so it's like, okay, it's really easy to be like, hey, there's no duplicates, and then throw in 30 different left arm tattoos and 30 different right arm tattoos and a bunch of different face paints and then a bunch of different parachutes. It's like, these are just in here to pad out the loot pool so it's harder for me to get to the things I want. So you fooled me once, you got my $25, bite me. I'm honestly okay with this because when I first bought Recon Wildlands for $100, that's right, I'm that big of an idiot, I got so mad about how bored I was, I used Microsoft's one time a year return policy and got my $100 back. They of course took the license from the game, or the license of the game from me, so I couldn't play it anymore. And then several months later, when I got my Xbox One X, I bought it for $20 on sale. So you've gotten $45 out of me technically, Ubisoft, so you didn't get my 100. That counts for something. And there's lots of things I'd love for them to fix. There's tons of glitches that have been in since launch. I won't mention all of them right now, but they should be fixing those glitches before they add more little story missions and little campaign missions and Ubisoft character crossovers, which are super cute and fun, but the game has some fundamental flaws. Like some big ones are like hybrid sight animations are glitchy, you get caught in the geometry and like the terrain all the time. There should be a first person mode for clearing out buildings so it doesn't feel like a clunk fest. Sometimes on co-op you will just end up having to use more bullets to kill someone for no reason. You'll just get like 16 hit markers for no reason because the game's just like, I don't know where your damage is going, but it's not going into that guy. Something you won't find in single player, which is nice I guess, but as soon as you play with a friend, that can happen. Also, the active camo, which turns you invisible, and the ghillie suits don't do anything for stealth. Several people have tested it, I've tested it, there's really no benefit to running a ghillie suit or active camo. I think that kind of stuff should be tweaked and fixed before they add more crossovers and survival modes and shit. Why am I playing Wildlands right now, and why did I get back into it? My little journey with Wildlands has just been described to you. And my biggest problem back then was that it was too easy. But playing now on the tier mode, on expert difficulty, I guess it's called extreme difficulty, I think, where you die in like 1 to 2 shots from the NPCs, it feels artificial and bullshitty, but it requires you to pay attention and be careful of your surroundings and spot enemies before you go into bases. Also, I can turn off my squad members now in single player, so I can just play solo, not having to micromanage 3 idiot AI. And I feel like a badass when I like take over a base by myself or take out a convoy or something. It feels really good, and suddenly the game feels rewarding, and I'm leveling up my tiers, and those will allow you to get different bonuses on your supplies. Those supplies are used to upgrade guns to do more damage, so I can start killing enemies even faster. And it still maintains that kind of realistic tactical gameplay that I like, without being too far up its own ass trying to be like a milsim simulator, but also not being like an MMO light kind of thing. It's a nice balance. And there's things, again, I could complain about for a long time. I could talk about driving mechanics, I could talk about copy and paste weapon stats. Whatever you want me to talk about, I could make a whole video on the things I hate about the game, I guess, if you wanted. But the thing is it's hooked me right now because it's satisfying. It's difficult, it's punishing, it's fun to play with friends, and I'm excited to keep playing it. Unfortunately, the game, and this is definitely Ubisoft's fault, has kind of fallen out of relevance in a lot of ways because it really didn't fix a lot of the issues that more picky gamers had with it. It kind of became the game for the average Joe Schmo instead of like something that could be a real staple in the current gaming market, and I think that's honestly just because they didn't put the robust love and polish into it that Ubisoft is putting into, let's say, Rainbow Six Siege or put into Assassin's Creed Origins. And it sucks because there's so much potential in this game and it just feels like it's being kind of wasted. I hope they do like an Operation Health type thing where one of their seasons is dedicated to fixing graphical glitches, getting hung up on things, and fucking ghillie suits and active camo not working, adding a first person mode, just basically kind of re-release the game with like a big 50 gigabyte patch. I would love for them to do that and breathe a bunch of new life into it, because I'm kind of nervous about buying a Wildlands 2 unless they basically say, hey, it's Wildlands 1 without all the dumb shit you were just putting up with. It is annoying when you like a game, but you have to put up with all of its nonsense to like it. Like, more so than like you normally have to. You have to put up with something when you like something or someone or a group of things. You have to put up with something you maybe don't like, but it's okay in the end. Whereas with Wildlands, I kind of have to ignore a lot of the problems to have my fun with it. My fun comes from surviving huge waves of enemies. My fun comes from sneaking into bases undetected. And that's where I'm having my fun. I'm working with my friends, we're having a good time, and that's all fun and good. But the game did kind of fall out of relevance, and that is kind of sad. It's worth picking up if your friends pick it up with you, it's on sale, and you're willing to put up with some nonsense for a fun, open-world, tactical stealth, action, shootery experience. Don't go into it looking for Metal Gear Solid levels of stealth or Splinter Cell levels of like really fun stealth mechanics. It's not that intense, but it's definitely a lot of fun. I thoroughly am enjoying it, And that's why I'm playing it more. You have all the reasons I'm playing it. It's a lot of personal reasons. It's nothing to really do with the game. It's everything to do with what's going on in my life and with my friends. And I just want to make that clear to you guys. So yeah, I honestly have nothing else to say about the game right now. And I don't want this video to be any longer than 10 minutes because there's nothing else for me to say. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you guys. Goodbye. Mr. Fantastic.
Oh no. You're just walking away from me very slowly for no reason. Stop it.
I can't even see him now. You're in the ground.
There we go. There's the fix.
Oh, thank God.
Maybe I
The
can't
sweet
revive
release
him.
of death. If you can't, I can.
Use,
It looks
use
fine
the,
on my screen.
Use the fucking medic drone. Why isn't that working on me?
There you go. I'll help you.
Oh, wait. That...
There you go. Nothing was
You're,
wrong on my screen,
underground for me.
to be honest. On my screen, you're just hanging out.
That loading screen really fucked Dylan because I feel like he's seeing a different version of the game. But I saw the stretchy arm.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I really saw was the stretchy arm.